Yeah, I'll call you right back. Okay, John, I'm sorry. That was my new friend, John Cena, who follows me now on Twitter. And John, I'm doing ready to do a show. Yeah, the guy you don't follow. Yeah, the one you blocked. That's who I'm doing it with. It's fantastic. But yeah, John. So we talked about this a little bit on Three Geeks, but I can't not bring it up on Mattalk. We have a different audience. But John Cena follows us, so this will be my last episode of Mattalk because the podcast can go nowhere but down from here. We've
you know what?
The pinnacle of podcasting greatness, and I don't know what to do.
I will give you an applaud. I could also mention many people who have liked a tweet, but
liked. They follow you though, John. That's the difference.
That's true. That's true.
Following us.
That's true. That's true. Hello, Daniel.
That means Cena could be watching us right now because this is going out to the Three Geeks X page, right? Twitter. And I'm not saying X. I refuse to say X. I already pay for a freaking check mark. I'm not saying X. Not doing it. Not gonna do it. But anyway, yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm happy that John Cena's following you guys on X. I really am. Or Twitter, excuse me. I'm glad of that. And Mr. Cena, if you are watching, I just wanted to say you, sir, are awesome, and what you do outside of the ring is awesome. You use your celebrity for good and not for evil. And Daniel Snow thinks that you're overrated, as you're no match for me. The doctor.
Opinions of those of Daniel Snow are not those of Mattalk or Three Geeks podcast. So please keep following us, Mr. John Cena, whom I love in all comedy movies. Like, I think you are just the funniest guy in the world right now. Sorry to comedians out there, but John Cena's got you guys because he's not afraid to do anything. Like, he will do anything in a movie if they put him in the role. John Cena, man. John Cena. I'm glad you follow us.
How about Blockers? Have you seen Blockers?
Dude, it's one of my favorite movies.
It's hilarious, man. Justin just pointed out a mere fact that actually John Cena could be in this very chat, in this very episode, and we wouldn't know it because we can't see him. So,
oh my God, you know how many times I've heard that joke since I told people he follows us?
Well, good, because you keep rubbing it into people and being mean about it.
Not being mean about it. It's not like I'm doing what we did on Three Geeks yesterday, John, and putting the Twitter thing up here in the corner for you to have to stare at for the entire show. Like, I'm not doing that to you.
My old eyes could not even read what that said. Even with my glasses on, I don't think I could read that.
It's funny, man. Yesterday, I didn't even know we could do that. Like, for some reason in my mind, I thought the image had to be small in order to go up there in the corner. I didn't know I could throw his Twitter handle thing up there and it would show, but it did, and it was pretty cool. But anyway, you guys are not here to talk about that. Hey, tomorrow, Homicide reaches Peacock. I'm very excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I'm excited for you to watch it. I'm excited to start dabbling a little bit in that show as well. I think I'm going to try to do a rewatch, but I'm not going to be as vigilant as maybe some folks because I have other things I want to watch as well. So I'm going to try to put it in the mix because I still have a great docu-series from Vice called Who Killed WCW. I still have not watched that. That came out a couple months ago. I'm very delinquent on that. I got to get that going.
I just saved a whole few hours. Vince McMahon is the answer, John.
Yeah, I don't have to watch it. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I'm glad that it's starting tomorrow, man. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on Homicide: Life on the Street.
I can't wait. I called my mom. I was like, hey, Homicide: Life on the Street reaches Peacock tomorrow. She said, what's that? I said, it's the show that started John Munch. She said, oh, John Munch. He's from the Firefighter show. And I'm like, oh, mother. No, he's from SVU. And she goes, I know who John Munch was. Ice-T's partner. And I'm like, yes, Ice-T's partner. So she might go back and watch it too. I'm looking forward to it, man, because I like NYPD Blue quite a bit, and I've heard comparisons between the two. So I'm excited to jump in it.
Then if you want, real quick, for you or for anybody else out there, you need to read the behind the scenes things after you watch maybe the first episode, the first season or the second season, because it's amazing that this show was so critically acclaimed, but yet no one watched it. The ratings were in the toilet. It bounced around NBC's schedule. There was backstage conflicts between Levinson and NBC. It was really the story behind the story is equally as good as the series itself.
How did it get so many seasons? It had Ratings issues.
That's a great thing, because I one of the reasons is that they had a heavy hitter. Barry Levinson carries weight, and it was a project he really believed in, and that was part of it. There were some other parts to it as well, but I would say if you wanted just one short, quick answer, Levinson. We have a couple of comments. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
I mean, that was NBC back in the day. I mean, NBC ran with Seinfeld with low ratings for, I think, 3 seasons before it finally kicked up. So, they were a lot more willing to give shows some room to breathe.
I think that was true of all the networks, really, to be honest with you. I think unless it was really awful, I think you got at least 4 or 5 episodes in before you got the or not. All right, let's see those comments, if we will, Justin. Let's see. When Jason scores a follow from Stone Cold Steve Austin, he has the right to brag. That's right. There you go. There you go. Agreed. What I've seen of Who Killed WCW is really good. Yeah, Daniel, I have it on the DVR. And to be honest with you, there's no excuse. I've been waiting for my girlfriend and I to be able to watch it. And, The Boys was going hot and fast. And then there was other things on the schedule. Better Call Saul and stuff like that I haven't watched yet. I need to. There's no two ways about it. I need to. It's only 4 hours. I should be able to machine gun through that. Especially, I remember the other day with the passing of Kevin Sullivan that I hadn't watched those. And R.I.P. Rest in power to the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan. And for those,
one of the oldest things I've ever heard you say was, "I have it on the DVR." Do people still refer to DVRs?
I don't know. I got one with my Sling, so they call it a DVR.
Do they?
I don't know. Nice. Yeah, they do. I don't know.
I mean, it's on Sling. It's not like you have a cable box. That's fair. That's what I was going to, the cable box. Do people still rock the cable boxes with DVR? So expensive.
I would say no. No, I would think not. In fact, to be honest with you, I only know one person that has cable. One person that has yet to cut the cord. So
I don't know. Even my parents cut the cord.
Yeah,
that was a whole thing with my dad. It was hard to get him to cut the cord, and now that he loves it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I take that back. 2 people. My mom and stepdad still have cable, and my cousin still has cable. So, anyways, well, are we ready to talk about this wild episode of Matlock?
Oh, we are, John. And I texted John about 2 minutes into this episode, and I said, this episode is going to be a 4 out of 5. Just 2 minutes in. We'll find out if I was right at the end. But I was all in. I mean, Matlock's going suit shopping in this episode, guys. I mean,
that's all you need to know.
It's going to be fantastic. I bet you can guess what the suit looks like. All right, John, take us into the next.
All right, let's get into it with our opening statements. The name of this particular episode is called The Arsonist, and the original air date is February 5th, 1991. Jason, we got about 4 noteworthy guest stars that we need to talk about. So let's start off with one of our main characters. Let's talk about the gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Byron. He will be playing the role of Ross Gordon. You may also know him as Dr. Mark Boardman on Port Charles. He played 3 different characters over 13 episodes on The Bold and the Beautiful. He also played Dr. Jeff Martin on All My Children, Richard Abbott on One Life to Live, and he was Paul Bradford in the awesomely bad movie, The Dungeon Master. So I get a kick out of those Dungeon Master, Beastmaster, really bad Conan ripoffs from the mid-'80s. So I had to throw that one in there. But is there anything else noteworthy that I should have mentioned?
No, I can't look it up now because my keyboard is super loud. It's as loud as Justin's now, and I don't want to distract from the show.
Stop being petty.
It is loud. See? Do you hear that? That's not me typing loudly. It's just
why is it so loud?
Too. I don't know how I did that. I don't know, man.
Okay.
The new keyboards are loud.
Okay. All right. Our next guest star is a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Dobkin. He will be playing the role of Martin Shea. You may know him as Colonel Gaston Bell in Patton. He played a variety of judges over 5 different episodes of Melrose Place. He was Judge Saul Edelstein on LA Law. He was Administrator Benz in Beastmaster 2, Through the Portal of Time.
Heck yeah. I need to watch Beastmaster. I saw that on an underrated 80s movies list.
Well, here is one. I threw this down just because of the name. He was in a Western movie called Johnny Yuma, which just for some odd reason made me giggle. But he also has, like, that's just a mere small sampling of the work that Mr. Dobkin done. He has like 230 some odd credits. So this is just scratching the surface. The guy was constantly busy. All right, Jason, if there's nothing else there, I'll move on to our third individual.
Let's do it, man.
All right, our third guest star is Michael Cavanaugh, who will be playing the role of Al Brown. Or you may also know him as Marvin Lanham, and we'll explain why in a moment. That's right, he has 2 different personas on this episode of Matlock. But you may also know him as Lalo in The Enforcer, Dr. Michael Keogh in The Haunting, not in The Hunting, in The Haunting. Chairman Paul Devereaux in Collateral Damage. The judge in the movie Holes. Joseph O'Loughlin on 24. Walter Wagner in Liz, the Elizabeth Taylor story, and about a good handful of other roles on his resume. Jason, did I miss anybody that you?
I did pull him up because I muted it. That's fascinating. He's in something called Smartphone Theater. I'm kind of curious to find out what that is about. I might have to Google that later. But I don't see anything else on here of any super big noteworthy. I mean, he was on a couple episodes of Monk. And yeah, that's all I got. Wing Commander, the classic. Oh, no, never mind. He's in the video game Wing Commander, not the classic Freddie Prinze Jr. Matthew Lillard film.
Justin, can you pull up Dan's comment? I accidentally clicked on it. Okay. From Patton to Melrose Place, so sad. You know what? You go from an Academy Award-winning film to being on that Fox soap opera. Hey, as I believe Ice-T said it, it's not called art, man. It's called work. So
listen, Dan, I'm going to set up, get real with you for a second. John, before we started Matt Talk, he wanted to start Melrose Talk. And I told him, I said, it's not really my thing. You know, I like Matthew Fox and Nev Campbell. They're all fantastic people. And that was Party of 5, wasn't it?
See, you screwed this all up. You screwed it up. Abort the comedy. Abort the comedy. No. All right, our last guest star is probably the most notable. And I actually have a side story to talk about with this individual. But we're going to be talking about Bill Macy. He'll be playing the role of Sid Franklin. Now, Bill has played the character Cy Benson in My Favorite Year, which was a very popular movie of the early 80s. He also was Stan Fox in the Steve Martin movie, The Jerk. He was Dr. Sobel in Analyze This, and he spent pretty much the entire run of the show Maude playing the role of Walter Finley, who was, of course, married to Maude. But we have a hat trick, Jason. He was on a Perry Mason movie, Murder, She Wrote, and Matlock. Woo! Give it up to Mr. Bill Macy.
And for bonus credit.
And for bonus, what did you say?
He was on an episode of Columbo for bonus points.
There you go. Dude, I remember this was years ago. It was probably 7-8 years ago. All right. MeTV or one of those over-the-air channels were showing Maude. And I decided one day to watch it because I've heard very good things about Maude. It was very cutting edge and, blah, 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 blah. And it was great comedy. And so I'm watching it. The girl that I was dating stopped by. And she was like, what is this? I said, this is Maude. And she goes, I don't know what this is. I said, well, it's a TV show. Oh, with the lady from Golden Girls. Yes, the lady from Golden Girls is Maude. Yes. It's supposed to be really, really funny. And it turns out that night they were doing the episode where Maude decided whether she wanted to get an abortion or not. So it was not your usual episode. So there was no laughter, there were no jokes, and like at this point, the girl I was dating is looking at me like, "There's nothing funny on here." I know, I'm turning the channel. So, and later I looked it up and I'm like, "Oh, this was the very special episode of Maude that had no laughs, no laugh track or anything along those lines." So,
well, this gentleman was in a movie with Steve Guttenberg that I need to figure out which it is because I've not seen it. I just see a video clip of it playing on his IMDb page, and I love Steve Guttenberg.
You do. You love the Guttenberg.
I do, man. I've both 3 Men and a Babies. Give me 3 Men and a Bride, guys. Let's make it happen. Tom Selleck's only getting older.
But you know what? Can I give credit where credit is due?
Sure.
Tom Selleck is getting older, but he's still a handsome fellow. I'm comfortable enough to say that. He's still a very handsome fellow.
Yeah, he's no Ryan Reynolds, but he is, stunning.
You know what? There's also been a movement real quick on Twitter to get the Detroit Tigers to actually wear Hawaiian shirt jerseys in honor of Magnum PI because he always wore the Tigers hat. I think that should happen. I think somebody needs to make that happen.
Absolutely happen.
There you go. You know what? I'll bring that up in Monroe. Maybe we could start a grassroots campaign in Monroe because Monroe's only like 30 minutes from Detroit. So there you go.
Yeah. I was going to say write your mayor, but you're probably better off writing Eminem. He seems able to get more done in the city of Detroit than anybody in the government.
If I ever run into Eminem, he's going to be like, dude, I don't want to take a selfie. Good. I don't want a selfie. This is what I want. I want Hawaiian shirts, Detroit Tigers, one Magnum PA night. That's what we want. Magnum PI night. Let's go.
I mean, that's facts.
Yeah, there you go. You put your phone away, Eminem. I don't even care. Like, just put it away. I don't want a picture. All right, I think we have a couple more comments from Daniel. Let's get to that before we get into the opportunity to testify. Michael C. was in the 1991 remake of Dark Shadows as well. Although, you know what? I overlooked that. Thanks for pointing that out. John then proceeded to show the bicycle shop episode of Different Strokes. Jason, you look like you don't know what we're referring to.
I have not seen any. I have not seen one episode of Maude. I'm sorry. I know my TV loves.
No. I mean, Different Strokes.
I've seen 2 episodes of Different Strokes.
Okay, so you've never seen the creepy pedophile bike shop owner who attempts to molest Arnold and his friend.
So maybe I have seen it in clips.
It's one of the very special episodes, just like the one when who on Family Ties was hooked on speed. Was that Alex?
Yeah, and then on Home Improvement, Randy, we thought he had cancer. I remember that very special episode of Home Improvement. It's the only very special episode I remember.
Okay, all right.
Roseanne used to have them all the time.
Well, really?
I think so. And then Life Goes On was a constant. A very special episode. The entire show was I'm going to rewatch that, guys. As soon as it hits streaming, I'm rewatching it because you guys have all reminded me about this show, and I'm like, I want to go back and watch it because I just remember it being the most depressing thing ever, and I was like 8 when the show came out. I just remember being a depressed little 8-year-old sitting in the living room watching this with my parents. Right.
It was so depressing. It was so depressing. Even an 8-year-old Jason goes, "Damn, this is depressing."
I thought Wonder Years was depressing too.
Oh my god, my ribs hurt from laughing. Oh god. Oh my goodness.
I rewatched Wonder Years. It's not that depressing.
Okay, it just seemed that way, did it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Life goes on. Woo! All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen.
It absolutely does.
Jason, I've gotten enough of your opinions. Let's get into it. Let's testify.
Testify!
All right.
Daniel, I remember that. I just watched Family Ties. I have purposely not watched the final season of Family Ties because I like the idea of knowing that there's more Family Ties episodes out there that I haven't seen yet that I can watch. But I love that show.
I don't remember the Tom Hanks being an alcoholic uncle. I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the one that that Alex was on speed, because I think, doesn't Mr. Keaton and him have like a pre-hostile showdown in Alex's bedroom, I think, and that's what ingrained it in my head. Whereas The Different Strokes was very traumatizing as a child, because I'm watching this with my parents, and then we had to have a talk, and it was not the talk that I expected to have at 8:30 on a Wednesday night or whenever Different Strokes was on. Anyways, all right. I think I'm all good here. I think we're ready to talk. All right, let's get to our opening scene, where it's a building that's on fire, and we have a bunch of firefighters trying to put it out. And then we cut to a very short little clip of the Atlanta cityscape. And we go into the store of one Franklin Shea, and Ross is one of his employees, and he's trying to help Cheryl kind of organize this mannequin, because the new clothing is in. They joke a little bit about how it's really not in style, but that's what Franklin gets. And so Sid shows up, Sid Franklin, by the way, and he talks a little bit with Ross and them, and then gives Atlanta Hawks tickets to a game, obviously, to Ross. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a guy like me that's in your late 40s, you probably want to know, John, 91, highlight of the NBA, maybe the golden era of that organization. Who, pray tell, who is on the roster of the Atlanta Hawks in 1991? Well, let me just tell you right now, the 91-92 Hawks, they had a pretty decent roster. They had Stacey Augmon, Maurice Cheeks, John Koncak, Rodney Monroe, Blair Rasmussen, Kevin Willis, and of course, the human highlight reel himself, Dominique Wilkins. That was a pretty good lineup, man. That was pretty good. All right.
I can never root for the Hawks. Mighty Ducks all the way. The Hawks were the bad guys in the Mighty Ducks movie.
And Jason, again, showing his knowledge of sports ball, ladies and gentlemen.
I just assumed we were talking about hockey. Were we talking about something else?
We're talking about basketball, but that's okay. Jason, did you watch a lot of TBS back in the day?
You know what? I actually watched a lot of basketball back in the day.
Okay. I was going to say, because the Atlanta Hawks were oftentimes interrupting things, whatever show was on. So were the Atlanta Braves, notorious for interrupting as well. All right. Well, Ross and Cheryl, as I said, they're employees there. They were joking a little bit about the amount of suits that Sid had ordered. And lo and behold, Ben Matlock comes in, and he starts talking with Ross and says, "Hey, I'm here for a new suit." And Ross goes, "How about this one?" It's a very fine,
black,
good-looking black suit. Yeah. I can't even imagine in my head, Jason. Can you, what a black suit on Matlock looks like?
I don't know, man. I was laughing though. I don't think in the first episode he had his traditional gray suit. I think it was darker, if I remember.
I think it was that pinstriped type of suit. Yeah.
But no, I was laughing this entire time, just like I am now, just at the thought of somebody offering him something different.
Do you think that he would wear the same gray suit to a funeral when you're supposed to wear black?
I picture his closet to look a lot like, I don't know if you watch the Ernest movies, but if they ever showed Ernest's closet, it was all the clothes that he was always wearing. And I picture Matlock's closet nothing but that suit. And as we find out when the guy comes, the proper guy comes up with the suit, it's exactly the suit he's wearing, just new.
Yes. So Sid is there because he knows that Ben is there, and he's got one of his standard gray suits. And they chat a little bit, and Ben tries to get free socks out of him. Gotta keep the apparel all tight. The shirt, the tie, the socks, the whole 9 yards. Marvin comes by and he chats with Ben and says Enrico will measure Ben again. And Ben may have put on some pounds, by the way, which he kind of doesn't really pat his belly, but he touches his belly. And then Marv excuses Sid and him to go back to the office to talk about business. So Marv and Sid kind of chat about the finances for the foreign loan, because the shop is in trouble. It's got some financial woes. Sid wants to file bankruptcy, and Marv came up with a new idea. No.
Marv goes from 0 to 1,000 in like the span of a second. Let's sit down and let's talk. Oh no, let's just go right to felony. Let's not even discuss options. No, we got to commit the felony.
Yeah, like I was thinking that too. I was like, isn't there like, can't they just go out of business and like liquidate all their stock and start over again? Like, I mean, I know it would be pennies on the dollar from what, they would be regularly making, but I would think that would be better. That would be a step in between, getting a loan and, I don't know, burning the thing down.
Well, ironically, it's a felony that ends up saving the shop at the
end.
I
know.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, I was just like, man, this guy, there's no middle ground. Like, it's either, we're doing well or felony.
Well, he's done his research, Jason. He said, "Good old."
He's already got a guy.
Yeah, he's already got a guy.
Like, it's not even a discussion. He's already got the guy.
Yeah, because he's talked to George Clancy, who did it, and nobody died, nobody got injured. He got away with it, and now he's selling more product and more items at the mall. Which right then and there, I wanted to go. Oh, if they could only see into the future. If they could only see in the future and see that being at the mall is not the way to go. But alas, it is 1991.
There's like people that just sit around and talk about the felonies they've committed. Like, I got an arson guy. He burnt down my shop. I'm in the mall now with the insurance money. It's fantastic. Like, are they just sitting around a campfire having these discussions? Like, how does he know that his friend did this?
Yeah, like, how do you know someone's not going to rat on you? Like, hey, you need somebody bumped off? I know a guy. I can get you.
If I ever decide to commit a felony, I don't think I'm telling Max or John.
No,
Justin,
please don't.
I just can't imagine.
Just disappear, man. That's what we want from you. Disappear.
I got away with it. I'm not telling people about it. Are you kidding me?
That's right. Go off into the sunset and change your name to Harvey Marmaduke and live a wonderful life.
The one thing I'm digging about this episode so far, besides the shoot shopping, is we kind of got back to what I really liked about season 4 and a little bit of the beginning of this season, where we're spending time with the people that are obviously going to be involved with the crime. So we get some of that backstory. And I kind of dig it so far.
Justin loves your alias, Harvey Marmaduke. There you go. Justin, just remember that name when you get mail 30 years from now and it's addressed to you and the return address is Harvey Marmaduke from Saskatchewan. Anyways, all right. Sid and Marv, they meet the arsonist at a city park. And the arsonist is Al Brown, right? And so they agree that they want the job done Saturday because the shop will be closed. Everyone's going to be at Marv's daughter's wedding, and some money is exchanged as well. Now, here's my thing too. This character Al Brown, played by Michael Cavanaugh, he just kind of didn't look quite like somebody I would cast to play an arsonist. He just really doesn't. I mean, he didn't. In my mind, I'm like, there's no way if I'm casting this show, I'm going, yeah, you're an arsonist.
He kind of looks like that guy that hangs around the gym at like the Y, like in the locker room. Yeah, John. Justin says, "What does an arsonist look like?" Maybe John knows some. Justin, I don't want to know. I don't want to get.
Okay. This is gonna be inside baseball, but I think we all know about somebody who played with matches.
Did we?
Yes, we do. All right.
Yeah. We need to release that shorts at some point. It's a fun Larry Hankins story, guys. We'll release it at some point.
Oh, I love that the light bulb went on. Damn it, I'm having a great time tonight. This is it. Okay. So we go back to a scene in the office where Sid and Marv are kind of arguing, right? Like, Sid's like, we can't do this. We need to stop this. But at this point, I'm going, I think the ball's rolling. I don't think you can stop it now, Sid. I think if you did, you're losing some money, and maybe you might get shot in the process. Because I have a feeling Al Brown would be the type of dude to shoot you over money. So Enrico, though, overhears it. So Enrico eavesdrop. He hears the whole argument. He hears what Marv wants to do, what Sid wants to do, et cetera, et cetera. And as I wrote down here in my notes, Marv's still convinced the only way out is to commit arson. That's it. So we go to the wedding, and it's the wedding reception. And Sid and Marv still at odds about, what we want to do with the business. Marv is hell-bent on burning it down. And Marv leaves the reception around 9:30-ish. We find out later. But he leaves the reception, and then he never returns. So Sid goes to the back area, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, the Outback Park, if you will, the parking lot and all that jazz. And he finds Sid stabbed to death out in the back. And of course, Jason, as Sid's leaning over the body, the door opens and there's security right there telling him to freeze. Now, I don't remember because it's not my pet peeve, but it's yours. Was Sid messing around with the body?
Yeah, he was trying to, I think, save him, if I remember correctly. Sadly, I only got to watch this episode once. But I don't know if he touched it. I know he was standing over it.
Okay. All right. Well, the police headquarters is where we're going next, where Sid tells Ben his side of the story. And I got to say, I thought this was just a little dose of some of the great acting that's in this episode. Because to me, I felt there was a real sorrow in that dialogue between Ben and Sid. Yes, they were going over what happened, but there was also that tone of which, like, you could tell that they were still very saddened by somebody that they knew who died. This is awesome. Tip of the hat to the crew on this scene because I thought it came across really, really well.
Mm. And he was honest with Ben. Like, yeah, we were going to do this thing.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was against it. He was for it, et cetera, et cetera. So then we cut to a scene where Conrad and Ben are talking about the case over breakfast. And it's suggested that Al has got to be found, so Conrad's going to be handling that business. And Mrs. McCardle's busting, Ben about scrambled eggs. He didn't eat his scrambled eggs. He can't go without breakfast. I hate McCardle. I just wrote it down. I hate this character. She annoys me to no end. Like, my husband, the great Walter. Shut up! No one cares.
Somebody like that must have hurt you as a child because I have no qualms with her. Like, she's not Don Knotts' character level of obnoxious.
She's pretty obnoxious right now. I agree. She will not be as fine. Obnoxious as a character that we're going to meet shortly, but yeah. All right. So Enrico, he has Ben's suit and Ben stops by to chat with him. And then Enrico goes, why don't you try it on? Okay. So he tries it on. He's like, is it okay? Oh, yes. Except for a little bit in the front. And then Enrico insults Ben by saying, have you put on some weight? How dare you, Enrico? How dare
they
you
zagged when they should have zigged. Never put on weight.
In fact, Enrico says, and I quote, it's a miracle you can breathe in them. Oh, now... Why you got to be hating like that, Enrico? Come on now. Come on. All right, we cut to a scene in the mall where Conrad chats with George Clancy. He kind of grills him a little bit about the store fire and whatnot. And then that cuts to a scene where Ross and Ben, they chat a little bit about the case.
Yeah, you know what? Conrad is about to attempt the stupidest thing that Conrad McMasters has ever attempted in this, maybe the stupidest idea anybody's ever had in this show. We'll get more into that in a minute.
If you would like to tell us what you think is the stupidest thing that's happened so far in this show, well, Jason, tell folks where we can get a hold of us.
It is benmattalk@gmail.com.
Or you can find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast. And yes, Justin, my voice did crack when I said the word stupid.
My voice cracked too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I am 49 going on 13, apparently. I don't know. Anyways, Conrad meets, and I'm going to use air quotes here, Al Brown in an alley. and Conrad gives him the details of a restaurant that he wants burned or torched. Al Brown will discuss it and scope it out for the other Al Brown. And so this part I didn't understand. So Al Brown, number 2, walks down the alleyway, and all of a sudden, Conrad, who's in his car, jumps out of his car, runs over, kind of peeks around the corner. Like, I didn't quite get what he was doing. Like, I know he was trying to see where he went, but I felt like this made no sense because he had such a long lead on Conrad leaving their kind of little parking spot area. Like, I don't know. Did it make sense to you, or am I just...
I mean, I just took it like you just said. He's just going to try to see if he could figure out where he went.
Okay.
This isn't the dumb part yet. We're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. No. Ben chats a little bit with Cheryl, who is in very much a rush while Ben is looking at stuff in Marv's office. Conrad does watch, quote, Al Brown scope out a restaurant and then follows Al Brown to an alley. And basically, Conrad catches Al Brown torching a warehouse. And Conrad is trapped inside.
Well, hold on. Whoa. You skipped over so much.
Okay, you go ahead.
Conrad follows Al Brown, his henchman, his goon, his partner. He follows him into this warehouse. First off, why are you following somebody who you know is an arsonist into this warehouse without any backup whatsoever? Not even a lock-picking kit. Like, he has nothing on him, wanting to protect himself or in a situation. He goes through the door, and guess what? Situation. The guy pops out of nowhere, throws a bottle of fire, and the thing just like gets engulfed in flames. Now we know where the budget for last week's episode was needed. It was in this episode because we have a lot of fire, and that cost money. And I'm just watching this episode like, really? Like, Conrad, you're smarter than this. This is probably the only like negative I have in this episode is Conrad would do something so stupid.
But because he did that, he gets to run and jump through the window and then land out on tough pavement, which I wrote down. The stunt folks, stunt women, stunt men, they get a lot of work on this episode, don't they?
Yeah, again, budget from last week's clip.
Well, as Conrad's getting tended to by the fire and EMT, Lieutenant Bob Brooks shows up, and they banter a little bit about what went down. Ben helps Cheryl again with some boxes, and then Ben asks about a clipping of a hit and run newspaper article that Marv had, and Cheryl's like, I don't know anything about that. And Ben was like, okay, do you know anything else? Do you remember anything else? She goes, I remember that around 9:30 Ross disappeared for a little bit. So we cut to a scene where Ben goes to talk to Ross and in his apartment, and it's revealed that he's a recovering alcoholic, that he's been in recovery for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, hasn't touched an ounce of booze. So Ben does confront Ross about his absence from the reception, and he has a legitimate excuse. He goes, look, I saw that Marv went out there, and I went out there to try to stop him from making a mistake. I was too late. I saw what happened, et cetera, et cetera. So, in the courtroom, Mrs. McCardle brings the lunch to Ben. Ben passes it off to a kid. Now, first of all, number one, again, I can't stand McCardle. I like how she told everybody what his lunch was. I'm like, shut up! Nobody cares. But secondly, I would not accept the lunch from a stranger because I think my parents would have been like, they've taught me not to accept food from strangers. So unless it's, under certain circumstances. So I thought this was very irresponsible of Ben. What say you?
Well, what I don't understand is why does she still work for Ben if he obviously doesn't like her cooking?
Yeah, exactly.
That's my only thing with her is why is he afraid to fire her? Maybe he's afraid to fire her.
Maybe she'd come back and try to stab him or something. I don't know. All right, so Ross is on the stand, and he tells exactly what he told Ben. I went after Marv. I saw the meeting between Al and Marv, and I saw the killing. And I didn't say anything because I was afraid that the killer would come after me. Okay? All right, all very much, makes perfect sense. So Ben laments that they still need to find this Al Brown, and eventually we get to a scene where Al and his henchmen, or Al Brown 2, are walking down the street, and they walk right into a setup. All right. Conrad's there. Cops are on every street corner. They're converging on him, and they made a deal with Al Brown number 2. And so we cut to a scene where the original Al Brown is determined to be Marvin Latham. And because we need more than one Marvin in this episode. I've been calling him Marv, but he goes in the episode by Marvin. So we need 2 Marvins in one episode. Why don't we just bring Marv from Sin City and Marvin the Martian in from Bugs Bunny, and we just have ourselves like a full house.
And Marv from Home Alone.
And Marv from Home Alone. There you go. There's our 5
Marv.
of a kind. That's a full house. Boom.
I wish I had known a Marv. I didn't know any Marvs. Any Marvs, you guys can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
Yeah. Or you can touch base with us at, of course, Facebook at Mattalk Podcast.
Yeah, we need more Marv followers, please, Marv.
That's going to be the hashtag. We need more Marv. That's what we're going to do. That's our hashtag. All right. Justin, can you get that to pop up on the screen? Hashtag we need more Marv.
Never have enough Marvs.
No, you cannot. Anyways, so Ben shows up and only Marvs. And I'm going to refer to him as Al Brown, since most of the episode he's been Al Brown. Basically, Al Brown says, look, I'm not your killer, man, because I was in Chicago on the night of the murder. And Ben's like, malarkey. No. Here's my plane ticket. As you can see, I was in Chicago, but I got delayed because of weather. I didn't make it back here until way past the time that I was supposed to meet. I never showed up to the meeting, ever. So Ben then must go back and confront Ross because he feels like Ross has not been truthful, and so that maybe he's hiding something. So they argue about the case, and Ben throws it in his face. You still drinking? Oh, that's not cool, man. That's not cool, Ben. So Ben goes to the store, and Sydney's wife is there, and they're going through some of Sid's stuff, and they're packing up. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, I messed that up. It's Marv. It's Marv that they're packing up stuff for Marv. I apologize. And there's the wedding photos, and so Cheryl and Mrs. Marv starts looking at the photos. Ben asks if he can take a look at them, and right then and there, he found something, right?
Yeah, what's funny is when he was confronting the guy about his drinking, in that moment, John, I realized why soda is called soft drinks. It never occurred to me why until today. I was 41 years old and I found out why they called soft drinks. All right, anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, there's no shame in that, man. Mm-hmm. In fact, I can't believe I won't even share. I had one last weekend. I was like, I'm this year's old, and I just found this out. Anyways, we go to the courtroom, and Ben is cross-examining Ross. And Ben talks about the newspaper clipping and says, you know what? This is an article about a drunk driver and a hit and run that killed 2 people. And I think that you are the person that was involved in this accident. You used to put it down. I liked how Ben had to show us, with his hand in that. And that you quit drinking the day after the accident, of which Ross is, denying this. Ben says that Marvin knew about this, and he used this information to essentially blackmail Ross into working long hours, taking less compensation, coming to his house and doing work for him. And so that is the motive that Ross would have for murdering Marvin. All right. Ben presents some photos from the wedding. There's a clock in one photo that shows around 9:40, and the murder, of course, we think took place somewhere between 9:30 and 9:40. And then we notice that Ross is wearing two different ties. And Ben finds out that the one tie that he was wearing in those photos, in the first photo, is not the same tie that he is wearing in a third photo. That in fact, when he started stabbing Marv, the blood got all over him and got on his tie. So the blood got all over Marv first, and then the blood ended up on, of course, Ross's tie. So he swapped the ties out because Marv's was crystal clean. And so that's going to lead to some doubt. One less Marv. They're very good, Justin. My question is this. Recently, Jason, we are on a trend of photographic evidence leading to a not guilty verdict. Did you find that odd? Because this is like the third time this has happened here in the last, say, 6 or 7 episodes.
That's fair. I didn't really notice it until you said something, but yeah, it's happened quite a few times.
It's happened a lot, yeah. So Sid, though, by the way, is found not guilty, okay, because of this evidence. And then we cut to a scene where Ben is visiting the store, and it's packed. It's wall-to-wall people. Why? Because of publicity. So I guess there's no such thing as bad ink, if you will. And so Sid tells Ben, hey, we're going to get rid of some suits, but I hooked you up. Here's a whole rack of your favorite suits. We're getting rid of them. There's like 7 of them there. And then did you also notice, too, they're 50% off.
Yeah, and he stuffed socks in them for Matt.
And he put socks in them as well. Yeah. You talk about a hookup there. That's a hookup that parallels some NFL players, man.
Yeah, he's getting 70 suits.
He's getting a lot. So, all right, Jason, anything that we forgot that you want to
no, not at this time. Let's get into our
Okay. You go ahead, say it.
Closing statements.
This is the part of the program. No, go ahead. You got it. It's yours.
On a gavel system, 1 gavel means it wasn't very good. 5 gavels means it was awesome. -20 gavels means I'm wearing the same shirt for the rest of my life that I will buy at the same store at the same time every single day. John, I'm going to go first. John always goes first. I think this episode could have been a 2-parter. There's definitely areas that could have been explored a little bit more, but my rating stands. It's definitely over 4. I give it a 4.9 out of 5. Like, it is close to perfection. Like, we get to find out where Ben buys the suits, and we get the comedy with that. I love the outcome of the trial. I thought it was a lot of fun. Best episode of this season so far, in my opinion.
I'm going with 4 gavels. Likewise, I thought the acting between, like I said, in that one scene and overall was very good. I like the idea that we have a different style of crime because there was a murder, but there's also like an arson as well. So I like that. I like the jokes about Ben buying the suits and his weight. My only negatives, Mrs. McCardle, the photos. Again, photos save the day. And I guess maybe... And maybe this is because if we had more time, we could have dove into what kind of a person Marv is. I kind of felt like the whole thing that Marv knew and he was going to hold it over Ross's head was kind of weak. Like, I'm like, it's a retail job. It's not like he was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. He's working retail. He's probably making like 30 grand. And like, if he's not even making that because of all the money he's got to kick back to Marv. Like, I just felt like, I don't really, is that worth stabbing somebody over? So, but overall though, I thought the positives outweighed the negatives. So I'm standing solid with my 4 gavels.
And watching it on DVD is so much better than watching it on Amazon with commercials.
True. I imagine that is true. I'm watching DVD, of course, but
I'm back on DVD because they took it off of Amazon. I refuse to watch it on Pluto TV because it's not as easy to navigate as anything else. But guys, 3 Geeks Podcast, we had, in my opinion, the best remake Revolution pitch ever on the show yesterday from Mr. Mike. He pitched Mr. Rogers' Pee Wee Herman movie that I really want to see. So I want to mention it just as much as I can so we can get it out in the ether. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. You guys can check us out. We're live Saturdays at 7 p.m. Justin's the Game will be coming very soon. I haven't told Justin about it yet. John, what do you got going on with the PVD cast?
With the PVD cast right now up and ready for you to hear is my conversation with Charlotte Kirk. She is an actress, a writer, a producer. We talk about her new project, Duchess, which is a really good action mobster revenge film. It's really awesome. You need to check it out. She was awesome to talk to. We find out about some of her future projects, her past projects, her production company, even the fact that she would like to do a project with dogs. Yeah, I said it, dogs. Ruff, ruff. Anyways, so check that out at pvdcast.com or wherever you find great podcasts. And yeah.
I find it fascinating that Mr. Professional didn't ask her about the film she filmed right here in Ohio, Columbus.
Listen. I was trying to keep it a short, sweet, and succinct episode because I talked to her. Look, this is honest. I say it in the episode. I spoke to her the day that Duchess dropped, and she had piles on top of piles of interviews and podcasts and media. And I was like, I'm not going to go super long. I'm going to try to keep this short and to the point because I don't want to manipulate or, monopolize.
I talked to her for 12 minutes, John. 12 minutes.
You talked to her for 12 minutes?
Yeah, I fit it in.
Okay. All right.
She was a delight, though. She really was.
She was.
I can't wait to listen to your interview. I tease you, but yeah, I know she's awesome. I can't wait to check out Duchess. I have a link to check it out. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, it's cool. It's good. So, all right. With that, then we do have a quick announcement. And we talked about this at the beginning of the summer that we were going to try to do Mattalk every single week, and we've done that. But starting in September, we're going to go back to the second and fourth Sundays of every month. Have to be honest with you, folks. It's because it's a lot of work to do 2 weekly podcasts, the PVD Cast, 3 Geeks podcast. And we're slipping. Many of you are probably wondering where some of the audio formats are of some of these episodes. They're in the can. They're waiting on me to get them edited down a little bit. It's been fun. We've enjoyed doing it, but it's a lot of work, and we just kind of are thinking that we're going to go back to the old format, especially with our workload, both here in podcast land, but also with our 9-to-5 jobs. We got a lot going on, and so we hope we don't lose anybody. We don't want anybody to stop listening. We want you to continue to support us and continue to tune in and listen and be entertained by our silliness. But it's the reality of it. No, we're having a tough time juggling everything, right, Jason?
Yeah, John does the audio editing. I don't have time. Email John that he's a quitter. That was actually my thing. I called John about it today. But guys, we still are going to review the Matlock reboot episode 1. So that'll probably be an extra episode next month. So you'll still get stuff from us.
Yeah. Look, we're not stopping. We're doing live shows every second and fourth Sunday. We're still going to be here. We're still going to release them on audio format. But again, we need a little more flex time in order to get that happen, because we want to take pride in what we've done. This is again, we just told it to a new podcast pal that we just met. This is the little engine that could. This podcast was never supposed to be on season 5. All right. Supposed to be a couple of episodes and that was it. You all have made that happen, and we are forever thankful and grateful for you supporting us. And we look forward to continuing to put out great content for you. And we could go on and on for another hour talking about how much we appreciate you guys, how much we love you guys. But let's wrap this thing up, because I think I've made the point, right?
Yep. Let's get out of here, John.
All right. So as they say in court, nothing further.